Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining live tonight. And thank you so much to everyone who is watching the replay. I appreciate every single one of you so much. I'm excited to chat tonight. Let's kick it off. Let me know in the chat. If you're here live, let me know in the chat, what are you drinking while we are hanging out? And if you are watching the replay, if you are part of the replay fam, I want you to let me know down in the comments what it is you're drinking, if anything, while you are watching this replay. I also love hearing if you are watching either live or the replay while you're doing something else. I know a lot of you have said in the past that you do this while you're on the treadmill or going for a walk or cooking dinner or doing something else. I love hearing about that. I will share with you, I am drinking just water. It's literally just water in this cup, but I really wanted to use this cup that I do advertise as a wine glass. You can put anything in this cup. It comes with a lid. You could put coffee, you could put water, but I really wanted to celebrate some wins today. And so I felt like celebrating with this cup, even though there's just water in it. And I also have this cup full of water too, because I'm really behind on my water today. I slept in a lot. Okay, we have lots of water. Loretta just finished a cup of tea. Snuggling with your cat, Amy. I love that. I'm always here for the cats, y'all. Doing your nails. Oh, that is such a good multitasking activity to do while you're listening or watching this. Love that. Water in your new Laken cup. Aubrey, I love it. I love it. Lots of water going on. Last coffee of the day. Oh my gosh, Jessica, where do you live? If I had coffee at this point, I would never, ever go to bed. Cooking dinner from the Cook Once, Eat All Week cookbook. Just one of my favorites. I love that cookbook. All right, let's kick it off. Amy, with the first question, what has been your favorite part of summer so far? You know, for me, as somebody who doesn't have kids and doesn't work a job that is impacted by the summer, I don't really notice a big difference of my day-to-day life in the summer versus in the non-summer. It is, minus the weather outside, it's all very similar. Besides having the summer intern to manage, that's been the biggest difference, which has been a fun part of summer. Obviously, as we've gotten into July and August, having summer Fridays has been really nice. But that's every summer, so I feel like that's kind of a cop-out to say that's my favorite part. It's maybe just enjoying the weather. Congrats on the dance news. Thank you, Amy. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, or if you did not see, I auditioned to be part of a dance company and I made it. I'm so excited. So I will be part of the show that is at the end of October. I'm going to be in both tap and hip hop pieces, and I'm just really excited. It really does feel like one of my annual goals coming to fruition, which was to spend time doing things that make me happy. And dance is definitely one of those things that just makes me really happy. Loretta, you used this cup last night for gin and lemonade. Ooh, that sounds good. I love it. All right, let's get to it. What questions do you have? What do you want to talk about? I've said this before. If you just want to have a topic that you want to talk about, it doesn't have to be in question form. You can do that as well. Oh my gosh, you passed the next part of the CPA. I'm so excited for you. Congrats. Moving on to part 2, one baby step at a time. Instead of focusing on all 4 parts of the CPA that you need to get through, you focused on that first one, you studied, you passed, and now it's on to step 2. Congrats. I'm so excited for you. Hello from Finland. Oh my gosh, it's late over there. Thank you for joining us live. How is the wedding planning going? It's going. Wedding planning is not my favorite thing in the world. I don't know if that's the times and everything that's going on and it getting postponed. But it is, I looked forward to planning my wedding for a really long time. And now I'm kind of I kind of am over it. I'm excited for the wedding. I actually had a wedding dream last night. I had a dream about the wedding, except we were in a very different hotel than where we're actually going to be staying. So I don't know what that means. But it's going. I don't really have any major updates for y'all. Sorry. Hello. Oh, a follow-up question. What do you have left for wedding planning? Oh my gosh. It feels like a lot. I'll tell you the 5 things. Where did I come up with that? The 5 things that are on my power sheets, if you did not watch my goals video, are the flowers, because I just don't care about the flowers. The on-site accommodation plan, the hotel blocks for everybody else, the rehearsal dinner caterer, and the groomsmen attire. Yeah, that's what's on my list right now, but that's not the end of it. That's just August's focus. It's a lot. Ooh, this is a good question, Sarah. How to adjust to goals after an injury? You broke your elbow and messed up everything. I think that this can also apply to anything that throws your goals off of course. Anything that pops up, which is a lot of the time, but something like this that's like really significant. And I actually think back to last March when all of a sudden everything changed and what we had for our goals may not have applied. Honestly, Sarah, I would check in with your goals and look at what you can and cannot do reasonably, and then just take it 1 month at a time. Even if you need to, take it 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. What goals can I work on this week? What action steps can I take within my current limitations, whatever that is, and focus on what you can control and the steps that you can take, and just realize that your progress might be a little bit slower because you're taking some smaller steps based on what you have going on right now, but focusing on 1 week or 1 month at a time, depending on, I'm not sure what your recovery time is going to look like, but if you have something that pops up, focusing on what you can control and in shorter chunks at a time. Have heard that Moxie Life has some new things going on for their planners for 2022. Have I heard anything? Diane, I don't know any major details. I am part of Club Moxie, but I have not been watching the videos. So I know she shared some sneak peeks in there. I would just check out the Moxie Life Facebook group. That's where all of those things will come publicly first. I don't know anything else because I haven't really been following along, but I'm excited to see what updates they have. I know that they're working on it daily. That's the one big update that I know that they've talked about a lot. Lynn, have you read Atomic Habits? If so, what are your thoughts about a statement? Forget about setting goals, focus on systems instead. So I have read Atomic Habits. It was a while ago. I think I read it in either 2018 or early 2019. So I don't really remember all of the context about that statement. But my initial reaction to that is systems are goals. And I think what we need as goals are the big picture. What is it that I'm creating systems to accomplish? Because if I set a system to start getting up at 5 a.m., well, why? Why am I getting up at 5 a.m.? What is the purpose? What am I getting up to do? What am I getting up to work on? How does that system impact my life as a whole? I feel like having a goal gives us that vision and that aspiration, that thing that we're looking to, that thing that keeps us going. But building the systems is how you get there. I also think the biggest issue with the word goal as it pertains in a lot of books and a lot of quotes is just what's your definition of a goal? And everybody is going to have different definitions of a goal. And so what he might define as a goal is what he's telling people to not focus on and to focus on the systems instead. Whereas what he is talking about as a system might be exactly what we define as a goal. So I think as with everything, take it with a grain of salt, take it how it works for your life and how it applies to you and your goals. Oh, Nicole, you've inspired me with your Peloton. I'm going to be getting a knockoff and doing the app hack. That is so fun. I do love the Peloton. Anybody who has the Peloton or the Peloton app, I highly recommend joining the Facebook group Hardcore on the Floor and doing it, or at least just printing out the monthly calendar, because it takes the decision work out of it. One of my bigger struggles with the Peloton, when I first got the app before I got the bike, was, oh my gosh, there are so many classes. How am I supposed to pick which class I want to do at which time? And really like narrowing in. I am somebody who really benefits from like a set plan or a set structure. And there was just too much freedom with the Peloton app and all the options. This Facebook group and this calendar has made it so easy. I just go in, I do the classes that are on the calendar. You add in a cardio component. So whether that's a 15-minute ride, 20, 30, some people do a lot and they spend like hours a day working out. That is not my system. Usually what I do is I do the 10-minute core, the 10-minute, whatever the strength is that they have on the calendar. I don't do the 20-minute one. I do a 10-minute arms, and then I do somewhere between a 15 and 30-minute bike, depending on how much time I have that day to work out. That's going to shift a little bit when I start dancing in the fall. Rehearsals start next week. I actually just spent a little bit of time kind of mapping that out, but that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Oh, Heather, I see you did two different comments. Recently listened to the Best Laid Plans podcast, and they talked about setting up their year in quintiles versus quarters. If you could rearrange your year, what would that look like? This is a great question because I think the answer here is really to rearrange to what works best for you. And that is going to be different based on your kids, how old they are, your job, how does that ebb and flow, your spouses or roommates or other people that are important in your life, parents, caretakers, how their life works, and setting up your life based on that. Right now in my life, I don't have any of that. That really impacts me. And so breaking my year up into quarters works just fine. Like the quarters that have been already set work really well for me. And so I don't really feel the need to shake that up. The only thing I could possibly see changing is doing summer, like shortening Q2 to just April and May, and then maybe doing summer, June, July, August, and then fall is September, October, November, and then December is just its own monster because of Vlogmas and the holidays. Like December is its own thing. That might be what I would kind of think about a little bit, is doing a quarterly refresh between May and June instead of June and July. But honestly, for me, it just really works. I don't really feel the need to shake that up, but I like this question because I would encourage you that if the way it's broken down quarterly, especially if you're using something like the Power Sheets, let it go. Do the quarterly refreshes whenever they work for you. Break your year up however it works for you. If you need 5 instead of 4, photocopy those pages and use it when you need it. Amanda, when is your next trip? It is Labor Day weekend. We are going to Houston because Sam's mom is getting married to her high school sweetheart. How cute is that? I'm so excited. Oh, I love this question. Where can I go find dance classes online? Watching all your stories about dancing has truly inspired me. I love this. So I always recommend Justina, who is my favorite dance instructor. I just also love her music. She's got live classes every week as well as on-demand classes that you can take. If you're looking, she also has some free ones on her YouTube channel as well. I'll link that below if you're looking for free classes. There are also MK Fit on YouTube is one that also gets raved about a lot. And I also really love her music. I get a little bored in her classes, but she has great music. Those are the only places I've really taken online classes during this whole shutdown. But I'm sure if you just Google it, you could find lots and lots of options. There's tons of stuff on YouTube, and even some studios are still doing some online stuff. The Facebook group for Peloton is called Hardcore on the Floor. I'll link it below when I am done. Nicole, thank you so much for signing up. If you didn't see this announcement on Instagram, I am speaking as part of a summit that kicks off on Monday. It's called Females on Fire. It is set up for female entrepreneurs. There are both pre-recorded sessions as well as live panel discussions on various topics. I will leave that link down below as well if you want to sign up. The general content is free. There are some upgrades that you can pay for, but you can get all the content for free if you just want to sign up. And I'm really excited. There's a lot of really great speakers that are speaking as part of that summit. Kicks off on Monday, August 16th, in case you're watching this replay late. Hi, Jocelyn. I'm so glad you're able to join us live. Tina, are you doing December Daily? Have you seen the sneak peeks? I have seen the sneak peeks. They are super fun. I am planning to do December Daily again. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it is a memory keeping project that kicks off in December where you do one thing a day in December. It is very intense. It takes up a lot of time, but I've done videos on it in the past if you want to check them out just to see what it's like and what it entails and if it's something you might want to consider for December. The products usually go on sale in September, which seems bananas given like it's August and we're already talking about December and Christmas and the holidays, but the products usually go on sale in September so that they have time to ship them and that everybody, including all of our friends overseas, can get them in time. And they want you to have them by November. So you have November to like play with them and get familiar with them before everything actually kicks off in December. It's just crazy. You ordered the Power Sheets, but notice on the sites that they're being retired. First off, I'm really excited that you got Power Sheets. I hope you love them. Do you know if it's just colors or they're not bringing them back? It's just the this design. So every year they update the Power Sheets and have new versions of them. Those usually go on sale in October. So these colors and the design on the inside, likely some things on the inside will change as well. These are the ones that are being retired. Power Sheets are not going anywhere. Thank goodness. Loretta, I love this. You just ordered some undated power sheets because you decided it makes more sense to start your goal year in September because you're a teacher. I love that idea. Am I still using the Plum Paper Daily? Not right now. I talked about this both in last week's weekly vlog and in the Plan With Me that went up on Monday. Right now, I'm just using a daily planning notepad. I kind of alternate between that ink and Volt one that I shared in that video and then my Cultivate What Matters one. I do prefer the ink and Volt one though because it has the half-hour breakdowns, but I have like 1 1/4 of that Cultivate What Matters one. And so I don't want to waste it. And so on days that I don't have any half-hour meetings, I've been using the Cultivate What Matters ones. And then on days that I have half-hour meetings, I use the ink and Volt one. But those are the two products that have been working fantastically for me. Brandy, this is a super deep question. What are your thoughts on carving your own path in life, especially when putting out yourself out there on the I can't even read it, on the online world? So here, my initial thought is you don't have to know what your path is at any given point. You can change your mind at any second. And I think one of the things that holds people back, and I know it has held me back at various points in my life from doing something, especially things online, is feeling not 100% sure that I want to do this forever. I don't have to do it forever. Just because I put something out there now, just because I start carving a path or I start going down one road, does not mean that I have to commit to that for the rest of my life. So I feel like letting go of that kind of pressure to make a decision to do something like forever allows you a little bit more confidence and maybe can help you be a little bit braver in making those decisions to create your own path, just knowing that you can change your mind at any time. I also just realized that we don't have the light on. See if it makes it, oh, look, hey, there's my face. Cool. What is your favorite song right now? I have really been like on repeat listening to that song from Mean Girls the Musical, I'd Rather Be Me. I posted on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I still listen to it at least probably 2 to 3 times a day right now. I'm just obsessed with that song right now. Jessica, this is a great question. Do you have any tips on dealing with imposter syndrome as an entrepreneur? Not strictly goal related, but I know lots struggle with this, myself included. 100%. This is something that every single human in the entire world struggles with. I guarantee you, to some degree, every single person has felt like an imposter at some point in their life in some capacity. It may not be at work. It may not be in their business. It may not be in a professional standing, but it very well could be in another aspect of their life, in a relationship, as a parent, as a child, as in all kinds of ways. I don't have any like magical words of wisdom that probably haven't been said before, but I will tell you what works for me. Couple things. One is to just keep doing it. It gets easier. Like bravery is a muscle. And the more that I work out that muscle and just put myself out there and ignore my own imposter syndrome, because 9 times out of 10, it's not even coming from somebody else on the other side of that screen, right? It's coming from me internally. The more times I do that, the easier it gets. It's still not easy all the time, but it does get easier over time. The other thing is I remind myself that I'm unique and I'm me. And so even if there is somebody out there who might know more than me or who might have more experience than me, it's not the same as me. I am unique. I have my own experiences and my own take on things that other people don't have. And that makes me unique and means that I'm not an imposter for me because I'm the only one. And so that kind of helps me get through things. The other thing that I try to do a good job of, and I'm not as consistent about it, but when I do get like those positive messages and those reinforcements that help me work through it, like in the moment, it makes you feel really great. Screenshot and save it in a folder on your phone. And when you have those struggling imposter syndrome moments, you go to that folder. It can be on your computer, on your phone, wherever. And you scroll through and you remind yourself of all the things that you have accomplished and all the reasons that you're not an imposter. Crystal, I will make sure to link it after I am done. I'm being choppy for myself, so I hope I'm not choppy for you guys. Okay, there it looks like it seems to be better. She has classes on YouTube and paid ones online. Her YouTube classes are going to be free. There's just not as many of them. And then you can also do the paid ones. She's got live classes and on-demand classes on her website. I'll link all of that in the description after the video. Ooh, Lisa, I love this question. If you could splurge on something for yourself right now, what would you get? Oh my gosh. A new computer. My computer is my like trackpad for my mouse like doesn't even work. I have to have my external mouse with me. It's just like, yeah, I really want a new computer, but I just can't justify it yet. Have you been thinking about what planners I'm going to use in 2022? I have not. Honestly, I know that some people have already started to talk about 2022 lineups, and I am trying to figure out right now. So it's definitely, no, I have no idea. And I think it's hard to also kind of make those decisions until all the new planners come out, because who knows? Like a planner that you love that you're using now could drastically change something that would like change the game for you. Laptop versus desktop. Amanda, I don't know if you typed that question before I answered that question, before I answered the other question about new computer, is a laptop for sure. What I love about the laptop is that I can work like a desktop. So I have a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor, so I can use it like a desktop, but then I can also just pick it up and take it with me. I know I could do that. I mean, I think you can do that with a desktop. Guys, technology is not my skill set. But I'm a laptop girl. Lynn, I'm so excited that you finally joined us. Welcome, welcome. How are you so disciplined? Were you always like this, or did it slowly evolve through your habits? It's hard for me. I struggle holding myself accountable. Kathy, this is a fantastic question. So I will start by saying that I have always been a somewhat disciplined person. Like my parents never really had to push me to get good grades in school. I always kind of did that for myself. So I have always had some sort of inner discipline. Does that mean that I was 100% perfect all the time in all areas of life? Heck no. And does that mean I'm 100% perfect in 100% areas of life right now? Not even close. But what I have learned over time, and what I have slowly built up, is I've learned how to implement habits for myself, what works for me. And one of those things is one habit at a time, and one small habit at a time. The other thing that I've learned is being okay to change the habits when they don't work. Kind of like we were talking about going down your own path and being able to change it because it's not forever. The same thing goes for your habits. You've got to focus on what's working for you right now. And if it's not working, you can change it. So there's a habit that has worked for me for almost 2 years at this point, but I'm changing it up starting next week because of a schedule change with this new dance rehearsals. I'm going to be going to rehearsal 4 hours a week. That doesn't even include commuting time. All in, we're probably talking 7 to 8 hours a week that is getting yanked out of my schedule and is focused on dance between commuting and being there. But that commuting time is useful. So I'm moving reading from my morning routine to my commute to and from rehearsal and just shifting things around. That way I can stay up a little bit later because of rehearsal, sleep in, and I took reading out of my morning routine. So I think what I have learned is that change it when it's not working, be flexible, and implement it in small steps. I do have a video that I think would help you with this. It's called 10. It's specifically talking about morning routines, but a lot of those tips can be applied to other habits as well. But it's 10 tips to creating a morning routine that you'll actually stick with. I would recommend watching that video and seeing if any of those things help. Mallory, I just talked about this a few minutes ago. How do you like your daily planning pad with the half hours? I'm loving it, but I'm trying not to use them all up because I sold a lot of the other ones. So on days that I have half-hour meetings, I use that one. Amy, that book is on my list. She talked about Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have not added it to my holds list because I have so many fiction books in my hand that I have to read first before I can put more, because I'm afraid it's going to get available. And I just have so many books checked out from the library right now that I just can't. But it's on my to-read list in general. What am I reading right now? Well, since you asked me that question a week ago, Amanda, I have not made too much progress on literally anything. I started Akata Witch, Warrior. I finished Akata Witch. I talked about this last week. Loved it. I picked up Akata Warrior from the library, but I haven't read that much of it yet. But that's what I'm reading for fiction. Nonfiction, I'm still reading F Your Diet by Chloe Hillard. Oh, Lynn, this is a great question. You're a little concerned that planner releases might be delayed this year due to supply chain. Which planners are made in the US? I don't actually know that any planner has 100% of their production here in the US. I think all of them have at least some piece of it is done overseas. I hope that this year they have been able to prepare far enough in advance that this is not going to be an issue, because it's been delayed for 18 months now, but I have no idea. That's a great question. Joanna, what was the decluttering book that you recommended? Decluttering at the Speed of Life. It's great. Have I thought about making your own planner pad to sell in your shop? Maybe just a to-do pad with checklist boxes. I have. Here's my reservation on that. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own unique desires. And so even if I created a product that was perfect for me in every single way, it likely wouldn't be perfect for everybody else. In fact, it probably wouldn't be perfect for anybody else if it was perfect for me. So I feel like there are enough options out there that I don't feel the need to create my own right now. Never say never, but right now I feel like there are plenty of options for all kinds of different kinds of planner pads that I don't need to create my own right now, but never say never. Oh, Lisa, I have all kinds of feelings about my mom being in Africa right now. Just send all of the healthy vibes to her and my stepdad, please. Heather, what are you thinking about changing to be able to incorporate memory keeping this year or for 2022? Right now, nothing, because I'm still trying to figure out what works and doesn't work for me. I also feel like this year was very odd in a lot of ways. So I'm also not basing all of my future decisions on how this year went. I think that's good kind of mindset to have in general. Obviously, we have no idea what next year is going to look like either. But I think just like, I don't know. Right now, nothing, because I haven't really thought about it. Lisa, not personal at all. Do I have a faith planner? I do not. I do not have a separate planner for faith. All that I really do that's faith incorporated is some sort of morning devotional, something in the morning. It was reading a book that was like a daily devotional. Now it's using those Write the Word journals from Cultivate What Matters. I talk about that a little bit more in this week's upcoming vlog, but I don't have a separate planner. Great question. Have I ever thought about making my handwriting a font? I have. It is a lot of work. There's a lot more that goes into it besides just like writing out the alphabet and like clicking submit. So honestly, I just haven't prioritized it because I just have had a lot of other things that for me felt better. They just felt more impactful to the world than taking the time to work on my font and get it out there. I know that that's something that a lot of you have asked for a lot of years, but it just hasn't happened yet, but it is still on my list. So it will come someday. I just have no idea what that timeline looks like. Amanda, current TV show with Sam, what are you binging? So the only thing Sam and I are watching together right now is the Lego Masters TV show. Everything else is over and there's nothing else that we're watching together. I am currently binging on Bones, which I talked about yesterday. I was binging on New Girl, but I finished that over the weekend. Now I'm binging on Bones. Sam is binging a show called Alone. If you like it's like Survivor, but it's like actually Survivor. It's not a game show of surviving. It's like actually surviving out there in the wilderness by yourself. I do not enjoy watching it because there's a lot. I don't like it. But he loves it. So maybe check that out if you like that kind of thing. That's the show that he's been binging. I thought I would share that as well. What wedding planners am I using? I'm using a Google spreadsheet. That's it. Lisa, I love this question. How has being in the office been? You're finding a new groove and really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it as well. What I like about going to the office, and for those of you who don't know, I do work a full-time 9-to-5 job. I was working full-time in the office Monday through Friday prior to everything shutting down. For the last almost 18 months, I have been working from home full-time. We have just started allowing people back into the office on a volunteer basis as we prepare for a full-time return. Everybody returns in the fall, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. During the course of the last 18 months, we moved to be within walking distance of the office. That is the number one reason why I go into the office, because I can walk there and it is a very short walk. If I had to commute really more extensively in any way, shape, or form, I would likely not be taking the time to go into the office. But what I like about going into the office is I do like chatting with a handful of guys on my team that are working there right now. There's just a couple other people that are going in sometimes that I get to see and chat with in person. But it really gets me out of the apartment, different environment, change of space, way less distractions than there is at home. I mean, there are so many distractions here. It is very nice to be, even having my own office now, I still enjoy the lack of distractions at the office. I like getting my steps in for that day, both walking to the office and like walking to the bathroom. It's much further of a walk than it is at home. I don't know. And I'm just enjoying it. I think I never thought I would actually miss going to the office, but I've been enjoying it. So right now I'm going 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. And that is what I'm going to stick with till they tell me I have to come back on Wednesday. That's what I'm going to stick with. Looks like there's a lot of people chatting about the Malibu Rising books and the author. The only one I've read is the After I Do. That's the only book by hers that I've read. Yeah. Okay. So someone else has been enjoying Alone. I tried to watch it with him. We watched like the first half of the first season together. And then I was just like, I'm out. You watch this. I'm going to go watch New Girl because I'm enjoying that way more. And now he's just been continuing to binge it. But he's been enjoying it. Let me know down in the comments or in the chat. What are you binging? What are you watching on TV right now? Or what are you binge watching? Let me know. Will lattes with Laken change once we're back 3 days a week? That is a great question, Mallory. So I have thought about this a lot. Right away, no. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it goes getting back in time for 6 o'clock. If it does not work, it is possible that lattes with Laken will need to change to a different time. But as of right now, we're not going back to the office till October, and they may even push that back even further. So who knows what that looks like, but I'm going to try to not, but we'll see. Do I know any other YouTubers personally? Audrey, that's a fun question. Yes, mostly just other planner YouTubers that I've met at various planner conferences like Cindy. I'm trying to think who else. Shea Budgets. I also met at the New York City Planner Addicts event. I don't know why I'm blanking on who else has a YouTube channel that I've met in person, but mostly just other planner accounts. I don't really know any other YouTubers personally. Oh my gosh, Aubrey, which one is your favorite roll design of washi tape? That is such a hard question. It's got to be one of the rainbow ones. I mean, I have so many rainbow ones. There's a Christian Designs rainbow one that has like silver stripes in it too. It's probably that one. Lisa, I'm guessing your dance news was the highlight of your week, but is there anything else? No, that's probably it. The highlight of my week. And then even also going to auditions and being able to see, people that I'm friends with from dance that I haven't seen in years was really nice. And then obviously getting the news today was like the cherry on top, which has been really fun. Oh yeah, Kayla from Oh Hello. But I also think of her as a planner, like someone that I met from planners. But Kayla and I are very close. So that, yeah, duh. Somebody who does something other than planners, of course. Of course. A good show to binge is The Good Wife. I have never watched that. There's another one, The Good Place is also on my list to watch that I've never watched. Shannon, what is the program you use to make the comments pop up on the screen? It's called StreamYard. I do pay for the next level up. So not the free version, not the most expensive, the one in the middle, which allows me to change the color and put my logo up here in the corner. But it's called StreamYard. Oh, Diane Badger's question got buried. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up. Oh, here. You're right. I totally missed that one. My dishwasher broke down. That has put a stop to achieve my goals for the kitchen. Any advice on how to get back on my goals? Of course, now it won't pop up. Maybe? There it is. So this is tough. I think it depends on what is your future plan. Is your plan to eventually get the dishwasher fixed? If so, then you're kind of in this temporary state, and I would maybe try and just let go of some things until you get to that back to normal. Because if you are going to get it fixed, then just figuring out new goals for that in between may not be worth it, depending on how long that's going to be. If you are not planning to get it fixed anytime soon, then it's time to come up with some new routines for getting the dishes done. And maybe that's, always doing it at a certain time each day. Maybe that's doing it after each meal. Maybe that's asking for help. That is one of the things I had to do with dishes. Eventually I was like, Sam, this is going to be your thing. So the dishes are his, that's what he does. And that's just what works for us. So I feel like just figuring out if it's temporary or if it's permanent, and then kind of picking your new action steps based on that. Lisa, this is a great question. I talked about the Quest shakes in the weekly vlog, but how are the other products? Any other favorites or recommendations? Yes. So I love the chips. They do have kind of a odd consistency. It's not exactly the same as a chip, but if you don't mind that, or if you're dipping it in something, you really can't tell. The flavor on the chips are fantastic. The only one I didn't like was the lime. It's like lime and something. I just didn't like the excess of lime flavor. Sam liked them. He ate all of those. Not all of them. We still have lots of chips. He's eating those ones. I like all the other flavors. I really liked the chocolate little clusters. I think those are delicious. The peanut butter cups are magical. I don't know that I can justify the price of them, but they're delicious. I also really liked the bars. The only thing that I did not like and did not think it was worth it for me, and I just would rather have a regular one, is the chocolate chip cookie. I didn't like that. I was like, this isn't worth it. I'll just eat a piece of chicken and have a regular chocolate chip cookie. So, but I did really like a lot of it. And I haven't needed to yet. I still have plenty of everything, but eventually I will probably place an order just from their website and restock up on what my favorites were. I'm trying to think of what my favorites were for in terms of the actual flavors of the bars. Honestly, they were all good. The only one I didn't like is the coconut one, because I just don't like coconut. But Sam eats everything. So he's eating the coconut ones and the lime chips. Everything else has been good. And the cookies, he's also eating those. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe using the peanut butter cups as a reward. Gosh, yeah, they're so good. They're so good. I love them. I just cannot. They're expensive. It's all expensive. I will continue to buy the shakes for sure to have with my coffee, but to be determined on what other products I buy. That was a good question, though. My water. This is almost gone. And then I'll move on to the big water. What else is on your mind? What else do you want to talk about? Rachel, my girlfriend doesn't cook or clean. Totally useless. Girl, what else? Then what does she do? I guess is the question. I mean, it also depends obviously on everybody's your household setup, right? So who works more? My mom is retired now, and so she does all the things, and my stepdad does none of the things because he's still working and she's retired. And then if she does all the things while he's working, then they get to hang out in the evenings instead of him doing something. It doesn't make sense to have him do something. Because she would just sit there while he did a chore. So she does everything now. So I think it just kind of, it depends on your household structure, who works more, and kind of splitting that up. Do I ever doodle? You just purchased Cindy's book and you're loving it. I do want to buy the book. I'm not buying books in 2021. I've said that before. I don't normally doodle. I doodled a lot more when we were in the office, and I would doodle during meetings when it was a big group meeting and nobody was looking at me. but I don't really doodle regularly now. And I know that her book is also based more on doodling for planners. And I definitely don't ever foresee myself being a doodler in a planner. So that's maybe also my hesitation there. But I'm glad that you're loving it. That's awesome. Are you still doing that monthly health subscription where they had a different focus each month? I remember the really fancy water bottle with the beads, the one I broke, I dropped it and I broke it. So no, because it's over. It was only a 10-month program and I finished the 10 months. I didn't do it, you guys. I did not keep up with it. I get the concept. I get it. I see how it would work. For me, there's something to be said for picking a new habit that means something to you, not just because some website tells me that this is the new habit I should be working on this month. And that is kind of what fell short for me. I don't know. I get the concept. It didn't work for me and how I like to go about my goals. Thankfully, I didn't pay for it. They gifted it to me. And so I didn't really feel bad about not using it. And that could have also been part of the problem. Like it is amazing. It's amazing. When you put your own money on the line, the amount of effort that you put into something. Like I recently signed up for a coach for something business related. And there were things that I've been wanting to do for a long time that once they encouraged me to do it, all of a sudden I just did it. Like it's incredible. So I think that was probably part of it as well. Audrey, do I ship to Ireland for your shop? I currently do not have international shipping. I'm still working on figuring that out. I was still trying to figure out domestic shipping, if I'm being honest with you. Shipping is expensive, you guys. Like it is expensive and it's hard to estimate. So I'm still trying to figure out shipping and still trying to figure that out. So right now I do not have international shipping. I know some of our UK friends have figured out how to get products. They use, I don't remember what the service is. If someone is still in the chat, Loretta, if you're still here, if somebody can share what that is, I will try and find that for you, Audrey. Ooh, have I been able to get into the Moxie Life Club and keep up? Nope, I have not. It's just been really hard. The time is not convenient for me. I just have had a lot going on. And I kind of just gave up on it, to be honest with you. Do I still use the Routinary app? 100%. It is my favorite app in the whole wide world. In fact, there is a whole video coming. Is that Monday's video? About Routinary. That's what it's about. I'm so excited. It's going to be so good. Ooh, Shannon, this is a good question. Any advice on how you handle conflict at work and not bringing the drama home in your head? Whew, I wish I had a really good answer for you here. But honestly, I can't really think of any major drama that I've had at work. If I bring things home in my own head, it's usually like me overthinking something that I did and questioning that and not about a conflict that I had with someone else. I also think one of the ways that I kind of deal with getting things out and then letting them go when it's something that I want to let go of when I get home is I just like vent to Sam. I'm like, okay, I'm going to vent to you. I don't need solutions. I'm not trying to fix it. I just want to like get it out and then I can move on and let go. And it's just like getting it out. So if you have someone you can do that with, maybe try that. If not, then maybe it's journaling and just getting it out of your head, venting down on paper and then like taking a breath and letting it go. How do you focus on goals when you've had a bad day? Lisa Marie, this is a great question. This one is something that is tough. One of the things, first off, before we actually talk about how to handle goals on a bad day, is redefining what a bad day is. Because sometimes when we say that we've had a bad day or we're having a bad day, it is really one thing. It's one, usually not a massive thing. And we are taking that one thing and letting it define the rest of our day. So my first encouragement would be to really think about what is making this a bad day. And if it is something that is not going to matter in 5 years, if it is something that really was out of your control, if it is something that you can easily fix the next day, if it is something that's just going to require some work, just if it is something that is super small and in the moment felt really important, but now it doesn't feel important anymore. Maybe redefining and thinking, now it's not a bad day. And now it's a good day. It's not a bad day. If you are truly having a bad day, because I know that is not always the case. Sometimes you just are having a bad day. It depends on the time of day. So I've said this before, but if I'm having a bad day and something bad happens and I'm in a funk and it's like 5 p.m. on, I'm done. Like I just say, today is over. Tomorrow is a fresh start. I might take a bubble bath. I might just like binge a TV show in bed, and I let the day go starting at that time. If it happens earlier in the day, then I do something that picks me up. What is something that could lift me up? Is it a dance party to my favorite song? Is it a treat from one of my favorite restaurants? Is it not having to cook dinner? Is it like, what is it that can pick me up? What makes me feel like myself and what makes me feel happy? And I do that first before I move on to trying to take any other action on any other goals. Great question. Tips on holding yourself accountable. So the biggest struggle that I've ever had and that I've seen other people have is we're trying to hold ourselves accountable to things that are too big and they're too massive. And so when we feel like we failed because it was too ambitious to begin with, then we're bad at holding ourselves accountable and we can't do anything about it. So what I try to do is hold myself accountable to smaller things that are incredibly reasonable. Would I love to do an hour workout every day, Monday through Friday? Yes, 100%. But if I don't accomplish that, I didn't fail at holding myself accountable. What I hold myself accountable to is doing something. Moving my body in some way, shape, or form, doing some kind of movement. That's what I hold myself accountable to, and it's much more reasonable, and then I don't fail at accountability. I also think holding yourself accountable, it, like bravery, like we talked about, is a muscle. And the more that you work on that, the more that you practice holding yourself accountable, the better you are at doing it in the future. And so when we start by holding ourselves accountable to small things, then we get better at it. And then we can start holding ourselves accountable to those bigger things. So starting with something really like something that feels so silly, it's a 5-minute, even a 1-minute activity, start doing that and holding yourself accountable to that. And then it will get easier for you to hold yourself accountable to the bigger steps. Thank you, Amanda. Routinary video comes out next Monday, the 16th. Jessica, same thing in line with Club Moxie. Are you utilizing Wild You and has it been worth it for you? So I have not been utilizing Wild You very much, but full disclosure for Wild You, I am not personally paying for that. They did give me free access. And I think that goes back to what I said about when you pay for something, you are way more likely to put more into it. Moxie Life, Club Moxie, I did pay for myself, but I still, clearly that doesn't work all the time. I still have not been doing a good job of it, but I have not really been using Wild You recently, but I will go watch that Emily Lay one because I just adore Emily Lay and think that she is fantastic. So I will be watching her course this month for sure at some point. I love this comment. I get so much done during your lives cleaning wise. I would love if you started a podcast. I would get so much done. I feel like I'm sitting down and listening to my friends talk. I love this. Let me tell you, I don't know when you started watching the lives, but I started them March of 2020. And so they're every single week. I have missed a couple of weeks here and there, but there are hundreds of lives for you to go back and listen to. Go back to the beginning, start there and listen to the lives. Listen to them back again and use those and pretend it's a podcast. Oh, thank you, Uma. This is for shipping, international shipping, at least to the UK, for products, Plan with Laken products. Thank you. Oh, Rachel, my heart breaks for you. Currently grieving the loss of our 14-year-old black lab and just started my YouTube channel last week. So now you're off with filming, editing, and feel really down on yourself. What to do? So first off, we never know the amount of time that we're going to need when these life things happen until they actually happen. So you just need to be okay with taking what you need, taking the time that you need, and whatever that looks like. That said, I would go ahead and schedule when you're going to work on your next video. So put filming it in your calendar. And then when that day comes, if you reevaluate and you're just not in the mood, you're not in the mood. But I would go ahead and schedule that. I would also, if you can, film something that A, you're super, super excited to film, and B, that is maybe relatively short. Your last video was amazing, but very long. And so if you put that much pressure on yourself to do another very long voiceover included video, it might feel a little bit more like work and effort and pressure. So maybe it's a topic that you can just chat about, something that's a little bit shorter, less editing effort to save you some time and get that quick win to get your momentum back into it with your YouTube channel. I also appreciate everyone in the chat sharing about how they're handling not bringing drama from work home. This is a great question. Any recommendations for someone who wants to start journaling but doesn't know where to start? Yes, couple things. Number one is figuring out when you're going to journal. So the best option is going to be to attach it to a habit that you already have. James Clear talks about this on Atomic Habits called habit stacking. So it's taking the habit that you already do every single day at whatever time and stacking the journaling on top of it. Number two, though, if you don't want to do it every day and you want to start small, start with once a week. Journaling once a week and doing that regularly. And then you can do twice a week, and then you can do 3 times a week and build up over time. Number 3 is also starting with a small amount each time that you journal. So I'm only going to write a minimum of 1 sentence. And if that's all that comes out of your brain in that journaling session, hey, you journaled, even if it was just 1 sentence. Another tip that I've heard that I really like is setting a maximum. And the reason that you do that is because if you say there's one day, you say, I only have to do a sentence, but you sit down and you are in the zone and you write 3 pages of journaling, then the next day you're going to compare yourself to those 3 pages. And you're going to be like, well, I don't have time or energy to do 3 pages today, so I'm just not even going to try. So you have to set a maximum for yourself so that you don't end up comparing yourself to the days that you were at your best, your highest energy, etc. The last tip I have with journaling is to start with prompts. Because sometimes just free journaling is really hard. And so Google journaling prompts and start with prompts just to get the habit of journaling down. And then you can switch, if you want, to free journaling. Everybody with Laken podcast, you guys are so sweet. I don't have space. There are too many plates. There, one big plate, too many plates. There's too many plates. My table's full. Not right now. I appreciate all of the positive support, though. I love all the comments. You guys are so sweet. Awesome. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. I appreciate all of your sweet comments back to Rachel. Also, yes. Did I miss something that Mom Life said about YouTube? Because I see the response about YouTube Premium. But YouTube Premium is the best. Completely worth every single penny. I love it. All right. Well, if you guys have any last minute questions, you can pop them in the chat. But I am going to go ahead and ask you my last question, which is, what is one thing you will do this week to make progress on your goals? I told you last week that one of my things was going to be to go find a rollerblading spot. And I did that. I didn't do it until Monday. So you'll see it as part of next week's vlog. But I did. I found actually 3 options of rollerblading spots in my neighborhood that I can go try. So I did do my one thing. My one thing for this upcoming week, which I already started kind of today, I cheated a little bit, but I need to finish it, is to go into my Google Cal and really map out the next couple of months. Now that I have rehearsals twice a week, figuring out what needs to go where in terms of routines and workouts and other commitments, moving all of those things, figuring out all the Accelerate Your Goals live sessions. I think I have that narrowed down, but just getting all that in my Google Cal and figuring all that out, that is my one big step for this week that I'm really excited about. Oh, one little word for July. That's on my list too. I was supposed to watch it this weekend and get the photos printed so I could work on it tomorrow during the Patreon co-working. It's not happening. Cook more often, even though you don't enjoy it. Oh, I'm not a big fan of cooking either. It's not my favorite, but it is beneficial both from a, financial standpoint and a caloric standpoint. Make a list of all your fixed expenses. That's a great start. I'm not working on my memory planning, Amanda. Go enjoy your final trip and relax. Prioritize your goals. Such a good one. Yeah. For those of you that are members of Patreon, like this one thing could be, what are you doing tomorrow during the silent co-working session? Digital declutter. I love it. Setting up your goals for August. It is never too late. There are still 20 days left this month. That is a lot of time. You can do a lot of things in 20 days. A lot of things. Choose a school for your doctorate degree. Oh my gosh, Donna, that is amazing. Congrats on that. Lesson plan for the second week of school. Find a 5-minute stretching video on YouTube that you actually enjoy. Lisa, that's a good one. I'm struggling with stretching too. I'm trying to get it back into my schedule and I'm not. I like the way that it feels, but I'm never like excited to do it. Scheduling a session with your organizing accountability group. Dawn, that's an awesome one. You guys, you can do this. All it takes is one small step at a time, layered on top of each other. One step, one step, one step, and you can 100% accomplish anything you set your mind to. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up before you head out, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And if you are new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I go live here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I would love to have you. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.